It's only been a couple of days since the last big Nintendo announcement, and we already have another one to talk about. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity was revealed earlier today, and man, it looks fantastic. I was just starting to wonder if maybe we wouldn't get a Zelda game at all this year, but not only are we getting a Zelda game in 2020, but it's a prequel to Breath of the Wild. This is so exciting because if you think about it, we haven't gotten a new Zelda story since 2017 with Breath of the Wild. And one of my biggest problems with that game was that the story felt underdeveloped and I thought the characters deserved more screen time. Well, that's exactly what we're getting with this new game. When I first saw the announcement on Twitter, I thought it was just paid DLC for the original game, but luckily it's so much more than that. Age of Calamity is a standalone game, and this time the story is actually canon to the Zelda universe. In the announcement video, they talked about how this game was created by working closely with the Zelda team, which means all the dialogue, cutscenes, and characters will actually be considered a part of Zelda lore. I enjoyed the original Hyrule Warriors, but it always felt a little out of place. These giant battles felt like they came out of thin air, but with Age of Calamity, we'll be experiencing the battles we heard about in Breath of the Wild. What happened 100 years ago was always such an interesting concept, but it never really got fully explored. Link experienced short memories from that time period, but we never got to play during the Great Calamity. This is also the first time all the champions will be playable, which is something I've always wanted. I love how story-focused the trailer is. There seems to be a lot of new cutscenes and character interactions that we haven't seen before. They mentioned that Breath of the Wild 2 is still being worked on, which I completely understand. And if we can't get the sequel anytime soon, I'll totally take a prequel. This game looks like it will flesh out the world of Breath of the Wild, which makes the original game better and builds more excitement for the sequel. With this game and the sequel, we will technically have a Breath of the Wild trilogy of games, which is really freaking awesome. The release date for this game is November 20th of this year. Nintendo's holiday lineup for 2020 has actually turned out to be pretty good. Super Mario 3D All-Stars and a new Zelda game are such great titles to end the year with. Another reason this game announcement is so awesome is because there were absolutely no rumors or leaks about this game. As great as Super Mario 3D All-Stars was, it was highly rumored months in advance. But with Age of Calamity, it came out of nowhere, which makes it a much better announcement. It still makes me a little sad to see it dropped on the internet at random because this would have been such an amazing reveal during a Nintendo Direct. But considering the state of the world, maybe that wasn't an option. I just hope Nintendo returns to the Direct format eventually. Here is the box art for the game, and it looks incredible. Like the first Hyrule Warriors game, Age of Calamity is rated T, which is interesting. I wonder what about this game gave it a T rating. Although, if you've played Breath of the Wild, you already know how this story ends, and it's pretty dark and depressing. I could see it being rated T just because of that. Another interesting thing is this little mini guardian right here. We have never seen anything like this before, but my guess is that it will be your companion. I'm not very good at analysis, but let's quickly go through the trailer. It starts with some dialogue that was in Breath of the Wild. We see some new footage of Hyrule Castle being destroyed, and then we get taken back to when Hyrule Castle was in its prime. We got a glimpse of Hyrule Castle pre-Calamity in Breath of the Wild, but I can't wait to get even more. I just hope the entirety of Hyrule Castle will be explorable. There's also some screenshots of Hyrule Castle, and it looks fantastic. Then we get a shot of Link as a knight and Zelda walking inside the castle. I can't wait to get more of these characters, and I'd love to see more of Link's backstory. There's many shots in this trailer where Link isn't using the Master Sword, so hopefully we'll get to see him pull the Master Sword for the first time. Then we see what looks like a Bokoblin attack on Hyrule Castle, although it's unclear whether or not this is a part of the Calamity attack. We also see Zelda and Mipha together, and Link swinging his sword at Revali. It was clear that Revali didn't like Link in Breath of the Wild, but maybe now we get to see why. Link uses a Sheikah Slate bomb, which is kind of confusing since he shouldn't have the Sheikah Slate yet. Maybe Link and Zelda take turns with it. The King of Hyrule is commanding his army, and like I said earlier, knowing the ending to this story makes it so much more tragic. Then we see the actual Calamity attack itself, with Zelda looking very worried and guardians coming out of the giant pillars around Hyrule Castle. These are the types of details I'm so excited for. Breath of the Wild never really explained what those giant pillars were for, but now we finally know. The next shot is very interesting. We see Link, Zelda, and a third figure standing before the king. Judging by this third character's appearance, I'm guessing this is a very young Impa. In Breath of the Wild, a much older Impa mentioned that she knew Link before the Calamity, so now we get to finally see that. And it also seems like she is holding the small guardian from the box art. We then see Hyrule Castle defending itself, and also skeleton enemies rising up from the ground. A giant Lionel is attacking Princess Zelda, and she uses stasis on her Sheikah Slate to defend herself. I wonder if Zelda will actually fight enemies, because Link is supposed to be her protecting knight. The next part is very exciting. We see Mipha building up an attack to hit a Guardian. This means that the champions will be playable, which is awesome. Urbosa fights members of the Yiga clan by using a perfect dodge. I can't wait to see more of the Yiga clan and to see how they play into all of this. The champions are staring down the Calamity, we see a champion-controlled Vah Rudania, and some Bokoblins attacking Zora guards. It will also be great to see the Divine Beast controlled by their rightful pilots rather than being corrupted. Daruk is attacking a Hinox and Revali faces off against a bunch of Bokoblins. Then we get some very quick shots. Link now has the Master Sword and he's holding back some sort of green energy. I can't really tell what this is, but if I had to guess, I would say it's Thunderblight Ganon. Then we see 4 quick shots of the champions facing their fate. This is probably going to be one of the saddest Zelda stories. Zelda and Link are in the middle of the Hyrule Castle battle and Calamity Ganon finally breaks free. We also get some new voice-acted dialogue from Zelda. I'm so glad the voice actors returned for this game. Then we're told that we'll get more information on September 26th. I probably missed a lot of small details, but there are some of the things that I noticed in this trailer. This really is so exciting. To get a story based around the events before Breath of the Wild is super awesome, and I think the Hyrule Warriors format is a good choice. Nintendo ended up turning 2020 around. We actually have a lot to look forward to now. I think it's great that Age of Calamity is releasing during Zelda month too. As a big Mario and Zelda fan, 2020 is turning out to be a pretty great year for the Switch. What do you guys think of this trailer? Are you excited to get a new Zelda game this November? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see ya in the next one.